So every time I see him, he'd come and be like, Canelo.
You're right. Yeah, you know how Bill do it too. Yeah.
So every time I'll be like, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
So every time he say that, you know, I just be like gradually getting into like looking at it, like okay, and he's not that big, you know, he heavy, but he not that big,
right?
You know, and I'm just like, all right, and I'm laughing, but at the same time it started hitting.
Right after his win over William Skull, Canelo Alvarez shook the boxing world by leaking sparring footage, drawing a sharp response from Terence "Bud" Crawford, who was quick to point out flaws in Canelo's training. Not one to be caught off guard, Canelo has wasted no time getting back in the gym, releasing videos of himself in intense training instead of taking a break. His motivation. Crawford has already been in camp for months, and Canelo knows he can't afford to let him keep that edge.
Talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that, Canelo.
To take that edge away, Canelo knew he had to jump back into training immediately. His focus hadn't been on Crawford. He had been preparing for his undisputed super middleweight title bout against William Skull, a fight that ultimately fell short of expectations. Many fans saw Skull as a weak challenge, and in hindsight, Canelo's training for that matchup is now viewed by some as time poorly spent. While Canelo's new training footage has drawn widespread praise from fans, there's one person who isn't impressed at all.
Hey, I want Canelo. Is there anybody in the camp that would say, you're not ready for this?
That's a big boy. He's strong. That's a conversation. It's not just, oh man, you'll whoop his ass.
Like yes, man type stuff.
I'm not worried about Canelo. I'm not thinking about Canelo. I'm just focused on Israel Magino.
In a small way, is this a stepping stone to your dream fight?
I don't look at fights as stepping stones. It's about now.
Canelo's next opponent, Terence Crawford, didn't share the excitement that many fans expressed over the training footage. Instead of being impressed, Crawford saw flaws, loopholes he believes he can exploit. In a series of now-deleted tweets, Crawford wrote, "There's so much excitement when I see him fight. His style is made for me to exploit." In another tweet, he added, "Every footage exposes something. Keep it up, and trust me, I'm watching closer than ever."
Started hitting me like, all right, man, maybe he's on to something. You know, and then I started sizing him up, and I'm like, all right, well, Canelo 5'7", you know, my arm's longer.
Yeah.
He's strong, I'm strong.
Right.
You know, it'd be, to me, skill for skill.
Right.
You know, because Canelo not the biggest 168 fighter. So I just started looking into it.
What's next? Maybe a fiery response from Canelo Alvarez down the line. Or perhaps a wave of passionate Mexican fans flooding Crawford's comment section to defend their champion. Interestingly, while Terence Crawford saw flaws in Canelo's training footage, many fans found it deeply inspiring, drawing motivation from the discipline and intensity Canelo displayed.
I'm on it.
One fan couldn't hide their excitement, commenting, "Canelo's training already looks insane. The man's got an unstoppable attitude. You can see the fire in his eyes. He's not just getting ready for a fight, he's preparing for war. I can't wait to see him face Crawford and show the world what he's truly capable of. This is going to be a statement win for Canelo, mark my words." Another fan echoed the sentiment, writing, "I'm honestly blown away by Canelo's intensity in this training footage. Just days after his last fight, he's already going all in. You can tell he's hungry for another major victory. The way he's pushing himself, fine-tuning every punch and movement. It's obvious he's got a plan to beat Crawford. I'm excited to see how it all plays out in the ring. Want this turned into a polished fan reaction section," article excerpt.
I'm on it.
fan was full of praise for the Mexican superstar, saying, "Canelo's training camp is a masterclass in dedication and focus. The man has a clear goal, and nothing's going to stop him. You can see the determination in every punch he throws, every combination he lands. Crawford better be ready. Canelo's coming at him with both guns blazing." Another fan chimed in with high admiration, writing, "This training footage proves why Canelo is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. His work ethic is second to none, and his mental toughness is truly inspiring. He's not just fighting for himself, he's fighting for his country, for his fans, and for the honor of being a proud Mexican boxing legend." With this kind of fire, many believe Crawford could be in serious trouble once they meet in the ring. Would you like me to help compile all these rewrites into a cohesive article or social media thread? Lastly, another fan summed it up perfectly. Canelo's training footage is a reminder of why he's a true champion. The man's got an unrelenting drive and is always pushing to get better. You can see the focus in his eyes, the precision in his punches, and the power in his every move. This fight against Crawford is going to be a clash of titans, and I'm hyped to see Canelo rise to the challenge. Bring it on. On May 3rd, Canelo defeated William Skull in what many considered an underwhelming opening bout of his 4-fight deal with Riyadh season. However, that fight was quickly overshadowed when His Excellency entered the ring moments after the final bell to officially announce the mega fight. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford for the undisputed super middleweight title. Would you like a full article draft combining all these rewritten sections? The highly anticipated bout is set for September 12th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Frank Warren, who was ringside for Canelo's fight against Skull, shared his thoughts on the mega fight in an interview with the Stomping Ground. Following the official announcement, Terence Crawford spoke confidently about the challenge ahead. "Everything happens for a reason, and there's a reason why I'm here. In September, I'll show the world what greatness looks like." Canelo also shared his thoughts on the matchup, saying, "Crawford is one of the best out there, and I like to share the ring with fighters of that caliber." Would you like all these pieces compiled into a full article now?
Give Canelo a real problem now. I think early on you could see he's a mover, and he's obviously a very good boxer. I think to start with, when he's thrown his jab, it was falling short. They weren't emphatic punches, and I think as it slowed down, it was then connecting. He was catching him. It makes that Crawford fight, I think, more an intriguing fight. I always say a good big and beat a good little one, and he's got to give a lot of weight away, Crawford, but it could give Canelo a real problem now because Canelo was getting caught.
Watching that, do you think Crawford might be, perhaps licking his lips isn't the right word?
Well, I'm sure he was. He was sitting ringside. He was sitting a couple of seats away from me ringside. You could see he liked.
Skull was catching Canelo, and that makes the Crawford fight even more intriguing, one observer said. "I always say a good big man will beat a good smaller one, and Crawford's going to have to give up a lot of weight, but he could still pose a real problem for Canelo. After all, Canelo was getting caught in that fight." When asked if Crawford would be licking his lips after seeing Canelo's performance against Skull, the observer added, "Well, I'm sure he was. He was sitting ringside, just a couple of seats away from me, and you could see he liked what he saw. Crawford's no fool. He knows his boxing. Also, don't forget about Madrimove, who gave Canelo a tough time. For a guy with only 12 fights, that was impressive. It's shaping up to be a very interesting fight between the two of them. Would you like to turn this into a full analysis of the upcoming fight?"
Hello, Virgil. I mean, it'll be the Super Bowl of boxing.
If you are waiting around on that, who is it that you're going to match him with?
I don't know. I have to literally go back to the office and just figure it out. So, yeah, Virgil winning here in Riyadh was huge against Madrimov.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are set to square off in a highly anticipated showdown later this year. Both are currently regarded as two of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world, adding to the excitement surrounding the clash. Alvarez has only suffered 2 career losses, one to Floyd Mayweather and the other to Dmitry Bivol. Mayweather's former manager, Jay Prince, believes Crawford will be the one to hand Alvarez another defeat. The fight is expected to take place at super middleweight, meaning Crawford will need to move up 2 weight classes, as his last bout was fought at 154 ounces. Would you like a deeper analysis of the potential challenges for both fighters in this matchup?
The beast. Wow, the beast. I truly feel that Virgil now is on a different level.
Final one from me. What did you say to Eddie Hearn in the aftermath of that win tonight?
No, good. Just, good fight. That's it. I mean, I think I'm 0-20 now, so... Or no, Eddie's 0-20. I think he's 0-4 or 5 with me, so it's okay. We're just chipping away. We're gonna have losses too. We're gonna have wins too. But I think tonight.
While Alvarez holds the weight advantage, Jay Prince believes Crawford has the skills to pull off the win. Speaking to Sean Zaddle, Prince confidently stated, "I believe Crawford beats Canelo. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Crawford is one of those guys." However, Prince was careful not to say anything negative about Alvarez, adding, "Of course, we can't say anything bad about Canelo because he's at the top of the top. But that's just my opinion." Would you like more insight into why Prince feels Crawford has the edge?
What's important is that both fighters came out good. Everything's good. Virgil won. Great fights. Great night for boxing.
This is the final one. You spoke to me the other day. You said that Virgil's first fight, he said to Jerry Jones, he's going to sell it out.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a reality?
Absolutely. 1,000%.
Jay Prince also downplayed concerns that Crawford's move up in weight would hinder his performance, saying, "I don't think the extra weight will affect Crawford. From what I've seen in sparring and watching him in the ring over the years, he has no wear and tear, and he knows exactly what he's doing." While Canelo Alvarez is a powerful force and has been fighting at super middleweight for quite some time, giving him a better feel for the division, Crawford is as skilled as they come. Alvarez, who typically fights at a lower weight class, will need to adjust. That said, Crawford's talent and experience make him a dangerous opponent. Before facing Crawford, Alvarez has to take care of business against William Skull on May 3rd, where he'll aim to reclaim the undisputed super middleweight title. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford has never backed down from a challenge, and now it looks like his next fight could be the biggest of his career, literally. Talks are heating up for a September showdown against Canelo Alvarez at 168 ounces, a fight that would see 2 pound-for-pound legends face off in a battle that could define the era. Would you like to focus more on how each fighter prepares for such a high-stakes match?
Okay. Hey, John, I don't have much time left with you, so I appreciate the time that I've gotten with you. I'm curious to get your insight on a fight coming up between Terence Crawford and Canelo in September. Crawford's moving up a few weight classes to meet Canelo. Just your insight. How does Crawford cross that bridge? How does he nullify the weight difference and get a win against Canelo?
I don't know.
But not everyone is fully sold on the idea just yet, especially not Jaron Boots Ennis. One of boxing's most exciting rising stars, Ennis is preparing for his own challenge against Ian the Tank Tastanian this weekend. But he still found time to weigh in on the Canelo versus Crawford hype, and he's not exactly handing out blind endorsements. In a recent interview with Fight Up TV, Ennis raised a red flag about Crawford moving up 2 full weight classes. "I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight at 160, just to feel what it's like against a bigger guy," he said. Boots didn't hold back when discussing what Crawford is up against. Canelo's been at that weight for a while, and he's been taking out big guys. Crawford is smaller, and Canelo's been knocking out guys who come in at like 200 olds on fight night, he pointed out. The reality is, Alvarez might not be a natural super middleweight either, but he's made a habit of hurting and finishing fighters much bigger than Crawford. That's not something people who know the game can ignore. Would you like to explore how Crawford might adapt to this challenge or dive deeper into how Ennis views the fight?
That's like a 50-50, 60-40. You gotta lean towards Canelo because he's been at that weight for a long time now, and he been pitting big guys out and things like that. Crawford a little smaller. So I don't know. We gotta see how it play out come whenever they fight. When they supposed to fight, September or something like that.
September.
Yeah, we gotta see how it play out. We don't know. It's boxing. But I think you gotta lean more towards Canelo because, like I said before,
Others in the boxing world have raised similar concerns. Timothy Bradley told BoxingScene.com that while Crawford is likely the most complete fighter right now. The size difference cannot be overlooked. It's a real jump, Bradley said, acknowledging that moving up to super middleweight is no small task for Crawford. Crawford, for his part, has never lacked confidence. On Max on Boxing, he made it clear, "I'll fight anybody, any weight. That's what greatness is about." And for fans, that mindset is exactly what makes this potential matchup so intriguing. The big question now is, can elite skill neutralize elite size and power? Crawford may be one of the best technicians the sport has ever seen, but if he goes straight into a fight with Canelo, he'll be doing so with zero margin for error. Canelo has had his share of big fights against the likes of Floyd Mayweather, Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley, and Sergey Kovalev, 3 of which have come against his former bitter rival, Gennady Golovkin. Would you like to dive deeper into how Crawford might approach this challenge or focus more on Canelo's experience against elite opponents?
Guys out and down, and Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe, and he been hurting these guys. I think he be dropping these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. They be probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So I don't know. It's gonna be a great fight. The fans want to see it. So
one man who has first-hand experience preparing a fighter to face the Mexican icon is Abel Sanchez, who coached Gennady Golovkin in 2 of his high-profile bouts against Canelo in 2017 and 2018.
It's a ridiculous fight myself. I think that Crawford is too small. Canelo is, in my opinion, the face of boxing right now. I think that look at his resume. I think it's a good fight for a little while. Crawford's hand speed will, just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the hand speed was evident at the beginning of the fight. But as the fight goes on, Canelo's going to start pounding on him, and I think that the fight ends somewhere between the 9th and 12th round.
Longtime boxing trainer Abel Sanchez spoke with Fight Hub TV, sharing his perspective on a number of upcoming fights, including the potential showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Sanchez doesn't hold back in his analysis, explaining why he believes the fight might be too much for Crawford. "Come on, I think it's a ridiculous fight," Sanchez said. "Crawford's too small. Canelo, in my opinion, is the face of boxing right now. Just look at his resume. I think it's a good fight for a while. Crawford's hand speed will be noticeable at the start, similar to when Golovkin fought Kell Brook. The hand speed was evident early on. But as the fight goes on, Canelo's power will start to wear him down. I think the fight will end somewhere between the 9th and 12th round." Sanchez continued, "Anything Canelo hits Crawford with is going to hurt him. Crawford won't be able to catch him early because of the foot and hand speed. Crawford is a heck of a fighter at his own weight. He showed us that against Madrimov in his last fight. But the weight makes a difference. I don't care how much weight Crawford gains or how much he adjusts to try to get to 168. That extra weight is going to have an impact." Would you like to explore Sanchez's past insights on other matchups or dive deeper into how Crawford might counter this challenge?